Hey everyone, this is John, and I just want to take a moment and talk to you just about a verse that God He's been placing this on my heart. I'm at my place. Michelle and I have a place in Yuma, and we're here, and there's just been some things that God has shown me. And one of them is, I just want you to remember 17:17, and it's Proverbs, and it says, "A friend loves at all times, a brother is born for adversity." And at face value, you'd think, okay, well, of everyone should love it. A friend loves at all times. But a brother, you think a brother's born for conflict or intentionally, and that's exactly not at all what Solomon wrote Proverbs. Solomon was David's son, actually from Bathsheba. In fact, Solomon was the wisest person in the world, and what he's writing is something that I want you to think about, then remember, and then tell the person how grateful you are, because it does not mean that your family is about conflict. It's exactly the opposite of that. A friend isn't a casual acquaintance. It's someone that's near to you, someone that walks beside you, someone that loves you. A friend loves at all times. And I would say a true friend doesn't love you when life is good. A friend will love you when life turns against you. But a brother in this exact Hebrew translation is not the word that we would think of a biological thing. A brother, it actually is a word that means a battle bonded relationship. And born is not like born in Hebrew, like as in maternal. Born means appointed or brought forth or raised up for a moment in time. And brother born for adversity, we're just going to go deep on this one verse. Adversity is distress, pressure, a siege, or what I like is a narrow place. A brother is born for adversity. A brother is appointed. So think about in your life, and I can think of several people in my life. Who is that person for you? A friend loves at all times. That's great. And we should have friends. But when you tighten that circle down to 17:17, you're going to look at a brother. All brothers are friends, but I would say not all friends are brothers. A brother will step in when everyone else steps out. A brother is there in crisis. They're not afraid of crisis. They'll fight with you. They'll fight for you. They'll stand with you. Brotherhood is not just proximity. It's shared pressure. It's a feel that when you're going through a hard time, like a cancer scare or a time with one of your kids, a brother is someone that stands with you, and they stand sometimes between you and disaster. And I really believe that adversity doesn't create a brother. Adversity, the narrow place, a battle, adversity reveals who already is a brother. That's when you find it out. The day before I left prison in 2021, the day before I left federal prison, it's common that people like to start fights, and they like to mess you up because you're going home and they're not going home, and there's just this weird jealousy thing. But there's this guy named Billy who was making fun of a friend of mine, and he was saying things about him that I just wasn't liking, and I called him I called him some names, and we had some words earlier in the day, and it was because his friend, who was our friend, Mike's mom had just died from Alzheimer's. He pulled me aside and he showed me a video. He was one of the people who had a phone in prison, and he showed me a video of his dad and mom dancing. And his mom, that's what they love to do. Well, his mom couldn't remember, and they were just dancing in a circle. And it's one of those things I'll never forget, because he asked me, "John, do you think my mom is in heaven?" And I said, "Absolutely." And knowing him and knowing them, and I believe that. And Billy made fun of it and said, "There's no heaven. She's wherever, and made fun of him. it wasn't necessary. It was an absolute not necessary comment. Well, later that night, I was in the TV room and they had a party, kind of like they call it a spread in prison. They had a spread. Everyone brought things like nachos and different things, and we were eating together. And then um, uh, we walked out, and Newbie and I kind of were helping to lead the white guys in prison, and we're walking by, going to our bunks, and this Billy says something to me, called me a name, whatever. Man, I was just had stewed on that all day, and I was ready to just throw down with him. And I just called him some names. He called me some names, and he started coming out of this room. They were playing cards. He was drunk. We were just in the room and just enjoying a movie together, Newbie and I. And Newbie gets in between us because this is what a brother does. Newbie gets in between me and Billy, and he says to him, "I'm saving your life because he would kick your ass. Sorry, but." And turns to me and says, "And I'm not going to be the one calling Michelle, telling her that you're not going home." See, Newbie was a brother, but it wasn't revealed until that moment. Because if I would have got in a fight, first of all, I would have lost all the good time I would have had. I would have been stuck in solitary confinement for 6 months, or until my time was up, which was about 5.5 months. And he wasn't worth it. And who is that person for you that will step in? Like they're not the people that will just love all the time. The battle tested friend that's born. They're born for adversity. They're appointed to you to walk with you. I hope that you find that person, know who they are, and thank them and think about them. And Michelle and I were driving, and we actually called Newbie, and I thanked him, remembering that time from years ago. But you don't forget when a brother steps in to that narrow place where battle happens or is about to. And sometimes they save you from you. That's what he did. Hope you guys have a good week, and God bless you.